You have selected to perform a circuit brake approach and landing. Navigate towards waypoint 1 at a speed of 220 knots. On the HUD, place the flight path marker a bit below the waypoint diamond and initiate a shallow descent to penetrate the cloud layer. Be aware of the crosswind. You may need to point your aircraft slightly to the right, in order to stay on course towards the waypoint. You are now under the cloud layer. Level the aircraft at 3,000 feet. Fly at a speed of 220 knots towards the next waypoint. You have almost reached waypoint 1. Once the UFCP changes to waypoint 2, turn left towards Anapa. For a brake landing pattern, align with the runway but slightly to its right, so that you can check that the runway is free of traffic. Begin a shallow descent and try to arrive at the airbase's initial point at a height of 1,000 feet barometric, and a speed of 220 to 250 knots. You are now at initial. Adjust power to maintain a 200 knots pattern speed and 1,000 feet altitude. Brake. Roll into a 30-degree bank turn to the left, maintaining altitude. As the aircraft decelerates to 200 knots or less, lower the flaps. Be prepared to keep the nose level, as there will be a pitch-up moment when the flaps are fully extended. Increase the throttle to maintain no less than 180 knots. We are now at less than 180 knots, lower the landing gear. An E-bracket will appear on the HUD. Increase throttle to compensate for the gear drag, don't let the speed fall below 170 knots. We are now on the downwind leg of the circuit. Reduce altitude to 600 feet, at 170 knots on the downwind leg. The heading should be 35 degrees. Switch landing lights on. Maintain 600 feet and 170 knots. Roll into a 45-degree bank turn to the left, into the base leg. Altitude should be 600 feet, with the aircraft at an optimum angle of attack of 4.5 degree. Turn towards the runway, for final approach. Once the FPM is centered on the E-bracket, use throttle to control the position of the FPM. A throttle increase will raise the FPM, while a throttle reduction will lower it. Place the FPM over the first quarter of the runway. The approach speed at this point should be between 140 to 150 knots. Strive to place the FPM over the desired landing spot, somewhere on the nearest quarter of the runway. Begin to flare at 100 feet over the runway, pulling back on the control stick until the FPM is placed just below the horizon line on the pitch ladder. Reduce throttle to let the aircraft touch down. Touchdown. 1. Power to idle. 2. Allow the nose of aircraft to fall through by itself. Once the nose wheel is on the ground, apply full forward stick. Apply rudder as required to maintain directional control. 3. Use wheel brakes as necessary, but do not skid the tires. 4. Reduce speed and exit to the right on the first available taxiway. This is taxiway B. Proceed forward to apron 2. Turn right on the street M. Park on spot number 23. Once out of the runway, set the landing lights to off. Turn left to go towards behind the parking row. Then turn right towards spot number 23. Be careful with moving rammed vehicles. Well done, this is spot number 23. You have finished this training mission. Press spacebar if you want to practice the shutdown procedure. Else, press backspace if you want to end the mission now.